Let's assess the situation by trying to plot out supports and resistance. So on the higher time frames, we see that these are support and resistance. So now when we go to the lower time frame, we can now zoom out and we can see that those support and resistance are right here and right here. So let's zoom in and let's see here. Looks like it was going on a downtrend, was breaking lows. Let's see to what extent. Yeah, broke lows and then came back up and broke this high. So let's zoom in. So it broke this high and it came back to retest this area. So right there, it had a huge bull push, but the previous daily closed bearish. On the 4-hour, this looks like a good place for price to want to kind of retrace to. And then also on the 4-hour, just looking to the left here, I can see another place of resistance that price might want to just come back up to. Right there is 50 pips on the drop. So what I'm thinking is if we're able to break these candle lows right here, then we can get to here. That's kind of my hypothesis. So I'll zoom in, and to give you a visualization of that, that'll be here as a take profit, which is like 50 pips. And I want price to break these lows right here. Now, alternatively, we have this high right here, but price would have to necessarily kind of break this area and come back up. So we'll see, we'll wait. This is pretty of a sticky situation because we have this level of resistance right here too. The only reason I'm focusing on this one because you can see that this is kind of like a fake out, another fake out, and now price is consolidated in this price range, right? So waiting, let's go to the 30-minute, see what kind of we're dealing with. So there's that take profit right there. And there's the next level of take profit right here, right? Price would have to break this low right here in order for a sell to be opened up cleanly, and price would have to break above here, this area, to be a clean buy. So we're waiting now. Now the 15-minute can help you in some ways. So for instance, let me zoom in here. I could tell you where like price may head initially. So for the 15-minute, we're just going to necessarily draw this and this, and then we'll wait. Right, again, on the higher time frames, this is a fake out, so this is why I'm drawing my lines here, as opposed to like right here. But zooming out again, we have our take profit right here, our take profit area, and we have another take profit area right here. Right, so zoom in. Now we're gonna go to the higher time frames right now, minute 30, and you can see minute 30 is still consolidating, so we're just waiting. It's about to hit 6:30. So right here, we're breaking these lows right here. This is kind of the opportunity I was referring to. We just broke that low, so we're off to the races. So what I'll do is I'll place a paper trade because I don't want to be too aggressive right off the rip. So right here, we have a paper trade, and we are running in about four pips of profit. Right here, because it's a paper trade, and we're reversing about almost 5 pips now, I'm thinking about reducing my paper trade by 50%. Right there, I reduce it by 50% to lose less. Right, so right here I'm playing with dollar lots. So as you can see in this particular candle, it actually did break the low here, but then it came back as a fake out. So it gave It's right we're here at 7. So kind of what I'm thinking is this is a good paper trade because I didn't lose or win anything. So that was a good paper trade. To be 100% honest with you, when I look at everything as a whole, like it made sense for it to sell, to be honest. It made sense for it to continue to sell, but that's not what I had in mind. So what I'm thinking is like maybe this wick will get filled, this wick right here, possibly. Yeah, like it looks like it's gonna continue to sell. Like if you draw on the 4 hour like this chart, this line right here, and you say that's a level of support, and it has to break. It looks like it's just going to continue to sell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for this 30 minute to close. It closes in the next like 5 minutes. Then I'm going to wait for the retrace, which will most likely do. As you can see, it usually always retraces, and then once it breaks a low, I'm going to then take another sell. If it doesn't create a wick at the top, it has a higher, like a lower probability of actually panning out to where I want it to. But my take profit, let's see here. Once it breaks low, I'm looking at like another like 10 pips. Now, since this low was created kind of like it's anticipated that we'll break this low, but you can do an impulse like once it retraces on the way down, take a sell. But we're waiting for now. I might even not trade today. We'll see. We will see. For now, I'm just relaxing, just chilling. Not really doing much, to be honest. Oh, okay. as you can see, because we're working on precision here, this particular candle, let me see if I have, what do I have here? What do I have here? What do we have here? Let's see. Yeah, so like, oh, nope, no. I want, you know what I want? Arrows, arrow up, no. Okay, let's see. Mm, so this just doesn't disappear? Oh, okay. Well, okay. Object list, arrow, delete. Tools, charts. Um, I know there's insert, shapes, triangle, no arrows. Oh, okay. Well, nonetheless, I'll just draw it out with this triangle here. So this high right here, it was broken. So this trade that I was talking about earlier, it's not valid anymore. And that's kind of how precise you want to be when it comes to support and resistance. As soon as it broke this low, you had an impulse entry opportunity right here for about 5 pips, and then a retrace. When it retraced and hit break even, you want to close that trade because then it's null and void. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way down to the 15-minute chart right here, and we're just going to go press next and press next, and as you can see, it's 7:30. We're going to press next again. As you can see, the trend is now reversing, so it's creating some level of support. It's not necessarily that you want to open up a buy at this point because one, we're just before New York Open, and two, we haven't cleared this level of resistance, right? So we're going to press next again. We're going to see kind of where price wants to go. Now we're at New York Open, right? So now we want the details to be more finite, more explicit, right? So we're going to go here. We're going to see kind of what price is going to do within the next 5 minutes right here. At 8:05, we had a huge push that pushed us outside of this zone for about 10 pips. Boom. That's the trade we were looking for. So you have to be patient. You can trade 2 times in one day, but you have to acknowledge when one thing is a fake out or not, right? So what you can do is you can wait till like opportunities arise. So right here, we're getting pushed up, clear momentum, right? So pushed up right here, 15 pips right there, right off the bat, right? So we'll go next. Again, this video is all about how do you say, support and resistance. So I'm not really worrying about how much profit we can get. However, if we were, there would be a lot of profit to get here. Look at that. That is a 50 pip move. Wow, what a Thursday, guys. Right here, 60 pip move, 70 pip move that I called. Wow, we're just booming. Okay, now it's retracing because we're getting to 9 o'clock. We're gonna get that 9 o'clock push now, possibly 9 o'clock push. This is the NYSE open, guys. So this was about a 100 pip move about. That was very nice. You just had to be patient, right? So what we're gonna do now is we are going to restart, right? Keep the daily the same. Keep the weekly the same. Reset the daily because we're going to be going to a next daily. So we're going to take all the, actually rather, what we can do instead of doing that is we can just take out this hour 4 tool right here, pause this, next bar, next bar, next bar, next bar. You don't really have to watch this until you get to about 4 on the Friday, and then just go forward 2, right? So now what you want to do is just go back to your minute 30 just to be on the safe side. You don't want to be going too fast. So we're going to reset everything because you always want to start with a fresh, how do you call it? You always want to start with a fresh chart, right? You want it to be starting from scratch every single time, so you can work on that technique. Again, guys, if you do want this free demo version, which includes all the tools as well as how to use it, shoot me a message on Instagram. I will reply to you as soon as possible, probably within 1 day, probably within the 24 hours that you message me. Shoot me a message. I'm very, very friendly. With all that being said, we are now at 6 o'clock. We're gonna let this run. We're gonna plot out everything across all 5 time frames: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 time frames. Sorry about that. And we're just gonna be working on our skill. While we do that, I'll just quickly take a look here. Oh, nice. Okay, that actually was kind of like the exact same thing that happened in real life that happened in the demo. Practically the exact same thing. So here we are. It is 6 a.m. We're about to hit 6:30, which is the New York session, right? 6:30 to 8, or rather 6:30 to 9 is the New York session. So right here, we're just taking our time. We're looking at price. Let's zoom out, right? Let's zoom out and kind of see where price is, right? Price just pushed up all the way to here, reacted to this area right here, and when it did so, it just shot down, right? So it reacted to this price area right here. So we can tell this kind of has significance in the market. We can still say that this is a level of support that price might want to go down to. Very valid level of support. We don't know what price wants to do yet. Right now it is pushing upwards. Like, this is a level of support, and now it's going to push upwards to this level of resistance. Now we have to kind of watch what it's going to do here, right? So let's zoom in. We have our resistance and our support formed, and kind of we don't really have much to go off of, right? It's kind of messy. So what do? You zoom in, right? When you zoom in, you look kind of like for the same thing, right? So that was this one right here, the high that it most recently had gone to. Zoom out, kind of see what area that kind of plays into. As you can see, if you zoom out one more time, you can see that it plays into this area right here, right? Which kind of makes sense, because look at all the candles and stuff and all these reactions it's going into, right? So we're gonna move that up a little bit. So that can be potentially a take profit area, a second take profit area. We have clean traffic all the way to here, so that can be potentially a second take profit area, but it's unlikely. We'll see what's gonna happen. So we're looking for close trades, right? So on the 4 hour, again, we have our level of support that price can go to, right? And then if we zoom in here, we can kind of see that another level of support is forming, just like previous. So we'll zoom in again here, and we'll identify that level of support in a manner of which, if it breaks that level of support, then potentially sells can open up, right? I don't want to be aggressive right off the rip, is one of the things I tell myself nowadays. I want to just be patient. So that's potentially a level of support that price wants to get down to. As you can see, price reacted here. And now you're kind of asking, like, why not here, right? You can say here, but yeah, let's identify that as also a level of support, right? Because that's about 30 pips away. And if we're talking about precision, yeah, that's definitely an area that price may go to and then potentially bounce off to continue going upwards, right? So we have a level of resistance right here, and then we have our take profit area right here, right? So to be honest, I feel like it's going to retest its high, because it created a high, and now it's maybe creating a level of support possibly, and now it's going to retest this high. So we're going to see. In the meantime, we were just in the 1 hour, so that's a wick. So we have to keep that in mind, right? All of this is a wick. Price said I'm going to push all the way up and then push down and wick out before the 4 hour closes. So let's go to the minute 30, zoom out, kind of see what this looks like. Right, we have our level of support there, and this is the second level of support that I was referring to a little earlier, where price can go to. We have our level of resistance right here, and then we have our level of final resistance right here, right? This would be like a take profit area. So this would be a TP area, right? So in these areas being mapped out, it's much more organized. And we're on the minute 30. We don't really have to go down much. We can, but for now, we're just going to keep it simple. Keep it very, very simple. Not add too much. Okay, so let's see here. so again, this will be all about locating levels of support and resistance. Okay, so some of the things that I like to keep in mind is kind of okay. So now that we have our support and resistance laid out, I'm gonna start to look towards identifying where price is gonna go, right? So it is now 6:30. Price right now. Let's see what's gonna happen. Um, this is now the start of 6:30, and right off the bat, we had price. How do you say? Breaking the low. So it broke the low. Now it's kind of retracing. Now we have to identify, is this going to be a fake out or not? Right? So right here, right off the bat, it gave you about 10 pips. Not necessarily a fake out because it gave you 10 pips right off the bat, right? So that was not a fake out. That one you could have taken a successful trade on for at least 10 pips, right? So now let's check out the next 15-minute candle to get us to 7 o'clock. Right, so 7 o'clock right there, you can see that price actually went down a total of 15 pips. That is definitely not a fake out, right? So we can have identified this level of support as a valid level of support. Now, some things that you want to keep in mind is that price ranged here, created a high, and then tried to retest its high, but failed to do so, right? And failing to do so, when we go to the higher time frames, you can see that price tried to continue to get to this wick fill, but wasn't able to, and started breaking lows, right? Started breaking lows. So in doing so, in breaking these lows, then we can say that yes, price would have just continued to sell. So I like that level of support. Very strong level of support, right? So let's go to the next 15-minute candle. Very strong level of support, right? As you can see, it just keeps on going. So right here, we're at New York Open. Let's see what's going to happen. New York Open, we have price in a particular type of range. Then price stays in this range from here to here. Let's see. See, this is one price ballpark right here. This is one price ballpark right there. And then, let me just show you. This is another price ballpark. So what you want to do is identify if price is going to go to one ballpark or the next ballpark. So because price already went to one ballpark, don't try to play it in another ballpark. Like unless you have a runner, and your runner would maybe get taken out because you want to leave your runner at like above the previous candle, right? So right here we have price continuing. We're going to go to the next minute 15 candle, price is continuing. This gave you, this year, what is this, 2015, had a lot of momentum because this just gave you like almost 40 pips right off the rip. Like that's really good, right? So a couple of things that I'm going to note is learn how to run with runners. Be very patient. Look for fake outs, because fake outs will get you and deter you from trading. Don't be over aggressive in the market. Just take 1 or 2 trades per day. Limit your amount of trades per week. If you're doing 1 to 2 trades per day, limit your amount of trades per week to maybe 5 to 8, right? So don't want to go crazy on every single day. Maybe just 3 days out of the week you go like 1 or 2 trades. On the other days you stay conservative, like maybe from Monday or Friday. So with that being said, we are here at 9 p.m. So this day is done. We're going to be going to the following week. Let's identify where that will be. We haven't identified any news catalysts because the main reason is we're just looking for support and resistance. That's it. Um, that's all, right? And honestly, this particular concept can be used with a lot. So let me give you another example. So AMC stock charts. Go to trading view. See more advanced. Okay, so we have AMC, right? So AMC has been in a little bit of a rut, right? It went from $31 all the way down and now is trying to find some level of support, but isn't able to necessarily, right? So in the least bit, it can go all the way down to around $10, $11. If it does so, look at the amount of huge return that you're looking at. Look at this. Look at this. The return that it was at in, let's see here. This was back in June of 21. June of 21, the price had elapsed all the way up to $72. That is 7 times what it is right now. That's why AMC is something that you're going to definitely want to just keep an eye out for. But let's do the support and resistance, right? So right here, we had a level of support, right? We had a level of resistance. These are preset resistance. This is resistance and support that was kind of already created, right? So price was either going to break out of this or break this low. It ended up breaking this low because of news. News is letting us know that in Canada, we are having catalysts of more COVID cases and more COVID scares. So even though we're at a low, big whales are planning on buying here and allowing it to just go all the way up, right? Now, if you're into small trades, you're going to come on here at around 6 a.m. and say, hey, you know what? News might do a catalyst and allow us to get some momentum upwards, right? And boom, look at that. It gave you about 40 pips. So you put in your trade, at, let's say, $100, right? And it goes up 40 times, or rather 4 pips, right? Or you could say like 40 pips. So in that sense, you would have made around maybe like $400, right? So that's like short-term trading versus long-term trading, right? So in essence, you can use these concepts towards any amount of utilities or trading instruments, right? You just kind of have to know what you're looking for, right? Like for instance, Bitcoin. We can see Bitcoin is at right now about 41,000, right? And it's finding some levels of support. Most likely going to break it and maybe come to this next level and maybe next level, right? Support and resistance is very, very, very important, especially if you want to move ahead. So with all that being said, we haven't been looking for news catalysts specifically here, which I usually do when I trade. If you actually go back to my trades, we are simply just plotting out support and resistance. That's it. We're gonna stick to the basics. So with that being said, we're going to again take out our hour 4. We are going to go all the way over to Monday. We're gonna pause this. Hopefully it starts to pick up speed. We're going to go to the 1 hour, go to 6 a.m., right? Daily, kind of the same thing, right? You want to restart all of your charts. That way you can get a fresh analysis, fresh practice. Again, if you want this demo for free, let me know either in the comments or in my messages. I will give you the demo version of this for free. And this is the full demo version. So let me know, guys. Let me know. Template. Okay, so right here we have a new weekly. Right? So now we kind of want to identify, because we're in a new weekly, where price might be heading, right? So we have price here creating a level of support right here. So price create a level of support. Price broke some highs and now is retesting this area right here. It's retesting that area. So let's zoom in. Let's zoom in and start to identify some levels of support and resistance, right? So right here we have a level of, how do you say, support right there. That's the closest level of support. And we have a level of resistance being around this level, right? You can see that price tapped here, created a level of resistance, came down, created a level of support, came up, broke that level of resistance, and came back into this area to now make this a very valid level of resistance, right? So what you're going to want to do is, now that you have your support and resistance clocked out in the higher time frames, you're going to want to, sorry, bear with me. Now that you have your most recent support and resistance planned out in the higher time frames, you now want to come out and zoom out until you get to this area where you can see where those are exactly, right? So definitively, right? So that's, yes. Okay, so we can see here that this is a level of resistance that I was plotting out in the higher time frame, and around this level right here is the level of support. Around this area right here. If I can go back to it, okay, play that. Let's have this go a bit faster. Yeah, that's fine. And then let's zoom in again, right? So when we zoom in again, this is the most recent level of support, which is about 200 pips. So it's not really that realistic, right? You don't expect to get 200 pips. You're only looking for amount maybe max 40, right? So you say from this point down to here, it's about 40 pips. Actually, that's more, that's 100 pips. So you want to get it even closer, right? So with that being said, you get even closer. And you say that's the level of support. Maybe even that's the level of resistance, because when you plot here to here, that's 200, right? So you don't want it to be that high. So maybe you want to go to the high, that wick right there. So this wick would be our take profit, right? By plotting everything out, we can identify that as a take profit, and maybe that is a level of take profit as well. So now we zoom in, right? And we say to ourselves, where is price right now? Price right now is between this level of resistance and this level of support. Right? It doesn't really get much more simpler or harder than that. You don't want to overcomplicate your take profit and make it 100 pips every single time. You simply want it to be able to break a level of support and then go down to a possible level of resistance. I mean, go break a level of support and go down to the next level of support, right? Simple. Don't overcomplicate the trading. Make it as simple as possible, right? So it's between those 2 points, and we have our take profit right here, right? That would be this right here. Right? We're keeping it very simple because at the end of the day, like, trading's already hard enough, right? So why make it even harder? Like, if you want to trade and you really want to make money in the Forex market, don't make it complicated. Make it simple as possible. And if it goes your way, perfect. If it doesn't go your way, see why not, and then get better and improve. Right? So we have that. We have a small level of support right here, which is kind of in our way, and we have to identify that level of support because that is 17 pips, right? So we have to identify that, and that could be very well our take profit. And then we have in this area right here, I can actually just make that cleaner for you guys. And in this area right here, we have our next area of take profit, right? So we're wanting price to break this low, right? So we'll just draw this identifier. And we'll draw this identifier just to identify these areas, and we'll just take this one off. Boom. So we have our level of take profit. We have clear area to the top here. So now we want to assess our situation again, right? So we have 2 previous bull candles. It's a range. previous area to that, price was selling a lot and then wicked up all the way to here. So price might want to just clear this wick because it created a low, came back within the last day and created this level of consolidation. Price might very well might want to just come break this low and continue down, right? So again, what we do is we just take our little identifier here and you put it in the identifying zones so that you know that this is your identified support and resistance. Again, simple, 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 simple. Keep it simple, right? So let's zoom in, minute 30. It's 6:30 right now. That means momentum is going to start to come into the market. Taking a trade right now as a sell looks very viable for two reasons. One, because I identified right here that this area was a level of where price just wicked right back up. What that means is that market makers had led you to believe that price was going to continue, but it did not. It came back up and filled this level of support. In doing so, I can see that lows are being broken as well. Lows are being broken, as well as the previous candle did print as a bear candle. So all I have to wait for is this candle to be broken. I'm not going to take a trade right now, but if I was to be, this would be a nice viable trade. Now I'm just waiting patiently. So a couple of things that I'm going to continue to do is if price retraces 5 pips, look towards closing 50% of my trade. Look towards at 80 to 90% of my trade. If it's in profits, closing, or rather at 8 to 9 pips, looking to close like 80 to 90% of my trade. So these are things I'm going to be taking with me. So right here, price just shot 5 pips. Consolidate back up to break even. This is when you close 50% of your trade. This is when you close the other 50% of your trade when it retraces about 5 pips, right? So simple, 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 simple. You would not have lost 100% of your trade. You would not lose $100. You would lose, as opposed to $100, you're taking off 50% right off the bat. You're taking off $50, and you're taking off another 50% as it retraces 5 pips. So that's about $25 that you would lose right off the bat there. And then you just have the remainder of the 0.25. So that 0.25, if it runs the rest of the way, that's going to be $25, $25, $25. You only lost 50% of your trade. This is where simplicity comes into play because you're not going to be right all the time. You will be wrong in the market. Accept the fact that you will be wrong and make adjustments to be able to not lose as much. Have more risk management when you're in the market. Right? Simple stuff that will take you a long way. So right here, as it retraces the whole 10, I'm closed my trade. And look at that. I'm out of the trade right here. I'm out of the trade right here, and look what it does afterwards. This way you don't want to hold your losses. Close your losses as soon as possible. As a matter of fact, I actually didn't open up anything on this trade. I am just sitting pretty and doing nothing with nothing. No trade was opened. None. History on chart, yeah. None. Trades, nothing. Right? And then boom, if you really waited, like look at this. Oh, look at that. It took you for a little bit of a ride, and then if you had patience and waited, it would have just came out the gate swinging. Look at this. Would have came out the gate swinging. That's 20 pips right off the rip. That was fast too, right? So patience is a must. Patience, 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 patience. So again, for simplicity purposes, this is all about drawing support and resistance and seeing where price is going to be going in the support and resistance. Nothing more complicated than that. Sticking to your trading plan, being on top of your risk management. I will be making videos for these Very shortly, I'll be starting with support and resistance and the basics of support and resistance and how to plot out support and resistance and kind of how to use support and resistance to get where you want to get. You do have to kind of use news as a catalyst because it will allow you to know where price is kind of wanting to go. But as a whole, one of the biggest things I would let people know is have a lot of patience. Don't just from seeing what you see here in terms of paper trades and not actually even taking any trades, what you can see here is the first trade is the one that wants to get you. That's the one that absolutely wants to get you. It's the one that wants to fake you out, right? So wait for the second one. Take the first one on days where you believe that there's huge catalysts. Look at this. As of New York Open, it shot back the 50 pips. Yo, this year is very volatile. 2015, oh. On that note, guys, I'm going to be making those videos very soon. I'll actually even here, I'll put here which videos I'll be making. Um, that way, one, I'll be making, okay, I actually want to see how that's going to go. Okay, so legal properties. So one, support and resistance. Right, that's one. Two, making and sticking to your trading plan. Okay, that's two. And just for simplicity purposes, we'll keep it at three, maybe even four, but for now, I will just do here three. Being on top of risk management. So I'll be making these videos very, very soon, guys, and my interpretation of these, as well as I am live, and we'll be going live 6:30. So I'll just put live, put 6:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Monday to Friday. And that's EST, guys, EST. So with that being said, look out for these guys. They're coming very, very soon. File, save as. All right, on that note, guys, take care, have a great day. Look out for me. I'll probably be coming on tomorrow morning, probably at 6:30, probably at 6:30, guys. So look out for me. I'll make an Instagram post about it. Take care, guys. Have a great day. Thank you guys for coming out. Bye, guys.